Today is Blizzard Bag Day 2, and the second story we will be reading today is We Are Today's Leaders by Daniel Kent. Reading from the book Stand Up, 75 Young Activists Who Rock the World and How You Can Too. Edited and introduced by John Schlin. The first page of this story is on page 146. This story is about 3,500 teens who have shown that, well, any one person can make a difference. Together, we can change the world. While in middle school, I was teaching computer and internet skills at our public library. One day, a senior citizen approached me and said it was so sad how his wheelchair-bound neighbors could not leave their independent living facility to learn how to use the internet and email their grandchildren. That sparked an idea, and I promised to help. After doing some research, I found that digital inclusion, which means digital access for all, regardless of age, was a national problem, and no organization was out there to help change that. So I decided that I would. I took the $4,000 I had been saving to buy a car, and instead formed a corporation. Together with my friends, we founded Net Literacy, a student-managed digital literacy nonprofit where teens comprise 50% of the board of directors and perform all of the volunteering. Many of the senior citizens whom we have taught are mobility impaired, lack reliable transportation, or have tried taking computer classes and were left feeling as if they had failed. Consequently, our organization decided to construct public computer labs inside the seniors' own independent living facilities to encourage participation and to make computers part of their home. We developed training guides that were easy to follow, written in large font, contained many illustrations, and excluded needless technical jargon. Most importantly, we changed the teaching model by working with each resident on a student-to-senior citizen basis for 2 to 3 months. Friendships were established, and as the seniors adopted the friendly student volunteers. As the seniors crossed through the digital divide, the student volunteers passed through the intergenerational divide. My most memorable experience occurred after months of teaching a resident who had memory problems and who seemed cold to me at times. Suddenly, she became teary-eyed during a lesson. She told me how she had been so scared that she was too old to learn to use computers, but now she realized that she was wrong. Kind families began to donate dozens of used computers to us so we could refurbish them and use them to build computer labs. However, we were at a loss to find a way to obtain the hundreds and even thousands of computers we needed to really be able to make a difference. That's when I decided to take a chance. I called the mayor of our city, explained what we were doing, and asked him if we could conduct a computer drive inside City Hall. He hesitated a few seconds, then said yes. Next, I called local newspapers, asking them to publicize the event. They generously printed stories announcing our computer drive and detailing our student-empowered nonprofit. We were thrilled when our first computer drive netted 150 computers. The next week, our caravan of our parents' cars and vans began moving the computers and monitors from City Hall to my home. My basement and garage became our computer refurbishing facility, and my friends and I worked after school repairing and relicensing the computers. Our supply of computers continued to grow as we conducted more computer drives around the city and in town halls throughout our county. 4 of the communities issued official proclamations supporting our work, and our nonprofit of the middle school students volunteers became a front-page news in the Indianapolis Star. During high school, Net Literacy continued to add new programs, and thousands of students at dozens of schools became volunteers. For example, we added an internet safety program where teens use Straight Talk to discuss real issues with younger students and their parents at the schools. We prioritized the safety issues and produced videos to engage teens and encourage good decision-making. We were on a roll. The state superintendent of public instruction agreed to join our honorary board and held a press conference in the State House to jointly announce our new $100,000 per year public service announcement initiative. The Indiana General Assembly passed a resolution encouraging public access channels to carry our online safety program, AIM. National online safety websites asked us to become bloggers, and I was invited to speak about internet safety and conferences ranging from Mountain View, California to Moscow, Russia. Net literacy is an innovative problem solver. After visits to Hong Kong and Denmark, I learned that funding limitations had shuttered digital inclusion associations and diminished the international sharing of digital inclusion best practices between governments and nonprofits. I believed that a website that promoted international digital inclusion would be effective, so I developed digitalliteracy.org, an international best practices website. To date, we now have relationships with the Internet associations representing 270,000 Internet companies on 6 continents. And Net Literacy was awarded the 21st Century Achievement Award by Computer World as the most innovative application of IT to extend the distribution of digital information and access to web-based programs and services. The Net Literacy model also rewards our own student volunteers by teaching STEM skills, science, technology, engineering, and math, leadership, and life and job skills as they serve their communities. Several colleges now recognize every Net Literacy volunteer by providing them with $5,000 in scholarships. Today, Net Literacy provides $1.2 million in services annually. There are 3,500 student volunteers who have increased computer access to more than 225,000 individuals. The organization has also donated 24,000 computers to date. 2 American presidents have honored our accomplishments, and the FCC cited 3 of our programs in the National Broadband Plan presented to Congress. The European Union's study on digital inclusion also cited Net Literacy as one of the 91 most promising digital models in the world. Our honorary board includes a governor and a bipartisan group of 7 current and former members of Congress who all believe in youth entrepreneurship, student success, and the importance of increasing digital inclusion and digital literacy. Half our working board is comprised of students, while the other half is comprised of educators and leaders from socially minded corporations like Intel, Google, Microsoft, and Cisco Systems. Much work remains, but because those who are offline are being left behind. Tomorrow, those without access to broadband will be, in a sense, disabled and unable to access the increasing number of services that are migrating to the web and are not available to those left offline. Those who are disconnected will become poorer, detached from rich information, and less able to compete in school, in the workforce, and in life. When I founded Net Literacy, I thought that it was an act of giving back to others. But I have learned more than anyone, as these experiences have crystallized my priorities and aspirations. Net Literacy is the story of 3,500 student volunteers who have proven that we are not tomorrow's leaders, we are today's leaders. Below that is a picture of Daniel with a bunch of computers and a little bit about Daniel and the story. Be a leader and cross the divide. Daniel is the founder of Net Literacy. In middle school, Daniel saw a need among senior citizens for better computer skills and literacy, so he crossed the generational divide while helping his elders cross the digital divide. Find a divide that exists around you, at home, in school, or in your community. Then lead the way to the other side. Find out more about Daniel's journey at netliteracy.org. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.